In this video, I'm going to go over how to take a weekly quiz or exam through the myopenmath system. You will access your quiz or exam through Blackboard just like normal, but when you open the quiz through Blackboard, it will take you to a site called myopenmath. It should automatically log you in from that based on your Blackboard login ID. So as an example, I have open here Engineering 213, and just like in many of our classes, the lecture material is broken down by week. So if I go to week 1, I can see all my activities that I would need to complete before I took the quiz. And looking in the table of contents, I can see the quiz is the last item. So I'll come down to the week 1 quiz, and here I'll click on click to launch, but it'll tell me that that quiz isn't available. But you can see it's logging me in here. It's saying this quiz isn't available until 11 o'clock today. But I'm going to go ahead now and open up a demo quiz. It'll look just like as if you had followed this click all the way through. Hopefully that makes sense. So here's what it would look like if that quiz had allowed me to go through. So this is the open page for the quiz. You can see it tells me how many points are possible and that this quiz has a time limit of 20 minutes. So you go ahead and click on start, and it's asking me to make sure I understand that this is a timed assessment. So and most of our quizzes are timed, so do pay attention to how long you have to complete the quiz. And it brings up my first question. And it's important to notice that there are 2 questions in this quiz, even though I can only see one. I can tell that because up here it says 0 of 2 answered. That tells me that there's going to be another page. I can also get to the second question using these arrows here. So the first question here is something really simple. It says add -3 and +8. So the answer there would be 5. And I don't really need to show any work for this one, right? This is basic enough, but in most of our questions in the engineering quizzes, they're much more in depth, and I want you to be able to show me your work so that you can prove to me how you got to your answer. And that way, if you get the auto grading part incorrect, so that's the nice thing about myopenmath, is it's going to actually calculate what the answer should be and tell you if you got it right or wrong. And on something like this, that's pretty obvious, but most of our engineering problems may take a full page of work to come up to an answer, and typically there'll be multiple answers in our engineering questions as well. So that's why this box is down here to say give you an opportunity to show me your work. So you see it says please take a picture of your work showing how you arrived at these numbers. So I guess as an example, I will record real quick. Actually, we'll do it on the next question because it's a little more in depth. So I'm happy with my answer for this question. I'll say submit question. Before I do that, let's look at a couple other pieces of information here on this page. Right now it shows me that I have 18 minutes left. It's auto saving as I go along, and it tells me what the score potential points are for this question. And then here is a really useful thing. I have 1 try on this question remaining. So I haven't submitted my answer yet, so that's saying, hey, I got 1 try on it. But here's another thing. It says you can get a similar question 1 more time. So on most of the questions I give you a chance. If you get a version that just looks really confusing, you don't like the numbers or something, you can click on get 1 similar question. Just for information, that usually you'll get a bit of a penalty, 5 or 10%, I can't remember which one, off if you say, oh, I want to try another version instead of the first one I tried. So if I click on that, I can get another one after I submit. And here's the details about that. Okay, so let's go on. So I'm submitting my question. If I went back, or right here it says I got half of 1 point. It says, oh, that's because I haven't shown my work yet. So it auto-graded the half for getting the answer right, and then another half point will be once I've reviewed your work, and so I didn't submit any work here. If I had gotten that completely wrong, I can click on get a similar question, and you can see it gives me a exact same format but with different variables. So here the answer would be 3 now. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting F3. Answer would be 3, and I could submit question. And again, you can see this time I got 0.45, even though I got the answer right, because it took 10% off because I asked for a second try. Okay, so let's move on to my second question. So this one says find the area of a triangle with corner points at 2, 1, 4, 1, and 4, 7. So here, let's see if I'm going to switch views here so you can see a desktop camera. Okay, so just a quick example of showing my work in myopenmath. I've got a right angle triangle that I'm supposed to find the area of. So I'm just setting up an XY grid, and then I'm going to draw on there. It looks like my first corner is at 2, 1, so 1, 2, 2.1. My second one is at 4.1, so that's just 2 more over. And then I'm at 4.7, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would neatly draw out my geometry, and this is something you have to do in engineering a lot, is draw free body diagrams or whatnot. So your work may be a combination of geometry and graphics and math here. So I can label these as 2-1, 4-1, and 4-7. And then down here, let's do my solution. So this would be our given, and I'm supposed to find, and I'm finding the area of the triangle. So area of triangle, and then my solution, and we always use that format and do it as neatly as possible. So the area of this triangle is going to be the base times the height divided by half, right? So I can say my base width is 4 minus 2, so that's 2. My height is 7 minus 1, that's 6. So my area is equal to 2 times 6 times 1/2. So that's 12, and so 6. Area equals 6. So that would be the work that I'm going to submit to support my answer, and then I'll plug in 6 here. Say that, and then before I click submit, I want to upload my work here. So what I need to do is take a screenshot of my work. So okay, so I took a screen capture just using my desktop cam. Most students take a snapshot with their phone of their work and then just email it to themselves. But however you do it, you need to get either a JPEG, a PNG, or a PDF file of your work. And then down here, we're going to click on Insert Add Image. And we're going to upload an image, and I'm going to browse for it. I saved it here. So there's my screen capture. So just go navigate to wherever you have your image stored and say OK. And then it should show up as your image. You verify that it shows up before you submit. Now I've put my answer in. I've got my work there to support it, and I click on Submit Question. So looks like I got it right. I can tell that because there's a green checkbox around my answer, and my work is submitted. So you can see I've answered, it says I've answered 1 of 2, and that's important to note because it's pointing out, hey, you didn't submit any work for the first question. So I'll go back, and I don't need to show any work, but I'll just drop that same one in there just so it thinks I've done everything I needed to. Say OK and submit question. And now it says 2 of 2 answered. So always check up there to make sure it says that you've completed everything. You can navigate between the 2 questions to make sure you like everything. And you can see I've got 5 minutes left to finish my quiz here. But I'm all done now. And that's it for taking a quiz. Then once it's graded later on, it'll auto-grade immediately all of the answer box parts, but it can't grade your work. So typically I'll go through a few days later after everybody's completed the quiz and I get a chance. I'll go through and grade for partial credit by taking a look at your work. I hope that's helpful. There's another video I put together, actually Nick Chura put together, showing how to get feedback on your quiz, how to see what you did wrong afterwards if you missed anything. So be sure to take a look at that one as well. I hope this was helpful. Thanks.